I'm Kaylin.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Olivia.
And welcome to the Secret Superstar Society, episode 3.
Woo! Wow. Post-holiday extravaganza.
We're back.
We're back, baby. Okay, so should we explain what the podcast is quickly?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. This is a podcast. What I don't remember what the fuck this is. It's a podcast for people who are ultimately like struggling creatively, and we want to form a community, and we want to have fun, and we want to do creative stuff.
Yep. And talk about healing.
Yeah, and other stuff.
And other stuff.
And what we want to talk about right now is ourselves and what we've experienced over our time away.
Yeah. We're just going to do a check-in with each other. And we actually we're saving it for the pod.
Yeah.
So.
Well, actually, Kaylin and I work together, so we see each other every day.
Yeah.
So we haven't been saving it, but I haven't seen Jackie in forever.
Yeah, I'm a little out of the loop.
She's out of the loop. She doesn't work with us anymore.
No.
Jack,
she got fired.
She got fired.
There was a scandal.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Don't Google it.
It's going to be added to my Wikipedia, you guys.
Under scandal.
Which is expensive.
Do you want to start us off, Jack?
I feel like I have the least juicy anything going on.
Okay.
My news is that I cleaned my house.
That's really big news,
Did you find anything fun?
It was really fun. Did I find anything fun? Well, I rearranged furniture significantly, so I feel like I'm in a whole new house, which is the best feeling.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I just took a trunk load of stuff to Goodwill yesterday. Yep. Amazing feeling. I deep cleaned the fridge. Yep. Took everything out and whew. I still haven't done the floors yet. I still need to sweep and mop. So that's what's up with me.
Well, how did that feel?
It was honestly bliss.
Yeah.
I was hibernating for a couple weeks because we weren't working on the pod. I was off from my clients because it's been the holidays. And so I was just in my house with my dog and listening to podcasts all day long, cleaning. It was incredible.
Wow.
It's all I ever want to do, really.
I know. I had that moment right before the break, and I was really sick, and I have a really hard time being home and being sick because I'm just I've got to be able to do something. There's got to be something that I can do here.
Even when you're sick?
Yeah, I'm I don't want to go to my job, but I can't just lay. I can do it for a day.
That's
the next day
time.
I'm just I can't. There's nothing else to watch. I've watched it all.
That's the one time that I will let myself do nothing, because I normally don't ever do that.
Yeah.
But if I'm sick, I'm I have to lay on the couch with a blanket during the day and watch TV.
I mean, there's something wrong with me. So I got up and I cleaned my whole house when I was really sick.
Well, good.
You do have something wrong with you.
I know.
Something wrong with your disease.
Yeah.
I'm amazing at doing nothing when I'm sick and when I'm healthy. And that way, I also have something wrong with me, but in a different way. Opposite end.
I'm also really good at doing nothing. It's just at all the wrong times. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get that.
How was your break, Miss Thang?
I didn't appreciate that.
My little nickname for you.
My break was just really fucking complicated.
Kaylin had a confrontation. Her sister had a confrontation at her.
Yeah.
Over break.
I was going to say, conversation and confrontation aren't the right words. My sister announced something to me, and I had to be there. It was not really a choice.
Yeah.
It was a honestly horrifically traumatic and shocking moment.
Yeah.
And it was a re-traumatizing moment. It was there's so much history and I I now can see that like I haven't had a single conversation with her in the last 10 years where she hasn't been using the same tactics, like
gaslighting you.
Yeah.
Hugely.
Yeah. And you know, for someone, when you grow up in a household that wasn't easy, and I'm not going to say that we had like an insane amount of trauma, like honestly, I mean, maybe actually that's the point, is that I'm supposed to like be more sure about this now. Like,
well, it's just, maybe you don't have to qualify it.
No.
It just was what it was.
It just was hard. It was hard. And like, I have never had my sister be able to tell me like, I know, I'm here with you. I'm experiencing the same things as you. This sucks.
Which honestly is like the best part of having a sibling.
Yeah. And I also think it's like one of the worst things, like, I think it's a really painful thing when a traumatic thing happens. Like, I kind of think that a more painful thing than a traumatic thing happening is then that
to be alone.
Alone and denied, the reality of that denied to you.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't know, I just think it really, having someone there who not only is like, you know, it's not like they're just like, I'm sorry, I don't remember everything exactly like that. It's like, it didn't happen.
Complete
You
denial.
are, whatever your experience is, I have racked my brain. I have taken inventory of my memories, and there is nothing in there that corroborates what you say you lived through.
And also like, how dare you kind of energy, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's this kind of not even underlying tone. It's very overt, but it's just like to talk about your experience and to try and figure out what actually happened and to like try to get other people to remember and try to get people to like just talk about it is you're hurting people. Mm-hmm. You're causing harm, and that's your fault, and you're putting people in uncomfortable positions.
Especially like in a family who has the culture of like just not talking about stuff.
Yeah. They don't talk about anything. I mean, yeah, it was really hard because like this horrible thing happened really publicly, and I had a panic attack in front of my whole family. And while my parents were like comforting and like hugged me and stuff, they didn't talk about it at all. They didn't say like, let's sit down and talk about what just happened, or do you need to talk about what just happened, or like,
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like at all. And so that, I think, I'm just so grateful that Max, my partner, was there, and that like I called you guys, which is like actually antithetical to what I normally would have done. I would have just like isolated and been alone with it and whatever. And I've had a PTSD diagnosis for like a while, and I realized that like what you were saying, there's this like PTSD is created when you experience a really traumatic event and there's nowhere for that energy to go. There's no one, there's no support system. There's
no release.
There's no release. Yeah, exactly. It just gets stuck in the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I have all like this, I think I have all this chronic pain.
Yeah.
I think there's like absolutely no coincidence that my really like bad musculoskeletal issues flared up and like really started being a super big problem for me when my sister got married. Yeah, I just like actually was able to, for once, believe myself when I said to myself, like, no, you're good. You're okay. You're a good person. And like, there's no possible way that I am a narcissist, a liar, like a unstable, crazy, like all that stuff. There's no way, because like the evidence is right in front of me with Max, with you guys. Like, you guys are that to me is the proof. There's no way I could have attracted people like you guys into my life if I were any of those things.
Yeah.
It's true.
And like I said, like I feel really like it is very upsetting to me that people like your sister was unkind to you and made you unhappy, but it's also like I feel so happy for you that you are the person in the family who's like, you're able to self-reflect. Like, I just like feel like I've known so many people who've like gone through their lives and can't do that. And that is like the biggest
really
tragedy
sad.
of all. And your family is like, it's such a big tragedy for them. Like that A, they can't engage with life on life's terms, and B, they can't know you because you're on doing a different project of life.
Yeah. It's something that I think I will grieve for the rest of my life, but I think I can stop blaming myself for it now.
Yeah.
Olivia, how was your break?
My break was fine for most of it. I turned 30.
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30. I will say, like, had an unpleasant romantic couple of days to weeks. However, on my 30th birthday, I went to a bar. I did many things that were extremely enjoyable, and I love my friends. But one of the things that I did was I went to a bar by Gailey's house that I go to all the time. And, like, I just went in, like, no makeup. My hair looked bad. Was wearing extremely stained sweatpants. And the hottest guy asked for my number. Like, so hot, tall. He has a job that I don't understand. He's like an outdoor lineman.
He's a lineman?
Or line layer.
Like the Wichita lineman?
I have no idea.
What is a lineman?
I
They
don't
work
know.
on like electrical poles.
Yeah.
I think.
He was like, it's a good blue.
the people who like draw lines on the highway.
Maybe. It could be. He said he's
That
an
makes sense.
outdoor lineman. Could be anything.
I think, are they all outside?
I don't know.
Okay.
More to be revealed.
Sounds hot though.
So hot.
You could like get electrocuted at any moment.
It was sexy.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me. It was like an awesome birthday present, especially because days later, aka yesterday, I was dumped unceremoniously. Not dumped because we weren't dating, but I was just like having this like, I know,
This is news to me.
Yeah.
breaking news. Not breaking news to Kaylin because she was there when I received the
was
text
there.
message.
Oh my god.
But I would just have been having this like, this thing with this guy. I have a very complicated, difficult relationship with romance, and I have a lot of OCD tendencies around it, and like addictive tendencies around it, and obsessive tendencies, and I do a lot of work. I've done a lot of therapeutic recovery work around it, but it is a process, and so like I'm in a very like specific, I date in a very specific way, and like this thing with this guy had like, I have been recently in this pattern of like I'll go on a couple dates with somebody and then it'll be so good and they'll be like, I like you so much, I'm so into you, and then like we'll have another date set up and then they'll either ghost me right before the date or like they'll be like, I don't want to do this. So which is what happened to me yesterday. It had been like a thing with this guy, had like we'd only gone out a few times, but like it had lasted like 2+ months because like
The holidays.
we were sick and the holidays and we kept getting sick and whatever. So we were supposed to go out last night and I had been sick and I texted him and I was like, I'm sick. Or I was like, I'm not sick anymore. And he was like, glad to hear it. I'm not feeling this anymore. And it was like so
Kurt.
Cobain.
It was so
It was
Kurt
Kurt
Cobain.
from Glee.
It was rock and roll, baby.
It was Kurt from Glee. It was gay.
Gonna make a really bad joke. The Nirvana.
Oh,
Sorry. Sorry.
pretty good joke.
That was really
good. Truly the Nirvana. Like actually, so ultimately, one must believe that the infographic I saw on Instagram is correct, and I'm so divinely protected that I don't get what I want. I saw that and I screenshotted it in preparation for when he dumped. The thing is too, it's like, it's not fun for me to date at all. Like I just am so anxious like the entire time. And I'm like, and it's like being anxious. Like I was just like prepping myself the whole time for when it happened. And I was like, if I prep myself enough, it won't happen. Or if it does happen, it won't hurt. And I was like, I actually can't prevent that from happening. But ultimately, I obviously am not meant to be with him because I'm not with him. So All love to everybody involved.
But that fucking sucks.
No, it sucks. And I think, I think what's
brutal.
important though is like how it makes you feel and like what you feel like it says about you.
Yeah. At this point, I'm kind of like, shit like this has happened to me so consistently that I've stopped. I've now reached a point where I'm not like, there's something wrong with me.
Okay, good.
Because I'm like, if there's something wrong with me to this degree, I need to be 5150. Like, there's something so wrong with me.
There is nothing wrong with you.
And it's like, sorry, no offense. I have a lot of people who love me.
You're a treasure.
Like, I just, so I'm like, and it almost makes me believe in like my higher power more, because I'm like, they whatever has to be trying to teach me something.
Absolutely. Or making
Protect
sure, like keeping you available for the thing that's going to come along that is going to be right for you.
Yeah.
Or getting you to exactly what you were just saying, of like the point of really believing it's not a reflection of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is so similar to what you were just saying about your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was incredibly similar.
So just trying to figure it out, but I was like praying so much up to try and like figure it out. And then like, maybe I'll cut this, but it's like 2 people have asked me today to be their sponsor. So it's like, and it's just like,
What did that say to you? Or
well, it's just maybe that it's like, you got to refocus on program. I'm in an anonymous recovery program. Won't say which one. And it's like, just got to refocus on that. And like, I had my meeting today and it was like all about, I've just like, really makes me go back to higher power, like all of this shit. Cause it's like, that is like a thing in sobriety that I have a complicated relationship with. But it's like, you really need it for dating, because you're like, you really got to have a lot of faith, because it's like so crazy. So it's like, that's what this has made me go back to. And I don't know. But yeah, so got dumped, but say, Livy, you got to keep pressing on. I have a date with a trust lawyer who I did think was a public defender, but then I found out he's a trust lawyer, but then I found out how much he makes, and it's a lot of fucking money. So I have that date on Sunday. And then I also have a date with a union organizer on Tuesday. So
Very different. vibes.
extremely different.
So it's like, maybe I can do both. And then I have a guy who's in a union, this guy that I met at the bar. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
like
Maybe you're gonna have
we have a little
sliding
white
doors.
collar, we have a little blue collar, we have
Something in the middle.
something in the middle.
There's actually no such thing as the middle class anymore.
Whatever,
Who cares?
who cares. So yeah,
Blessings and healing unto him.
thank you. Blessings and healing unto all who
Well,
have
and
wronged
you.
us.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. I wish all my enemies healing.
I blush all my enemies.
I blush all my enemies.
I'm having a stroke, so I will be receiving healing, but
I'll be right back.
I blush all my enemies. And wish them a Merry Christmas.
all right.
Well, we are
Bella?
11 minutes in.
Okay.
Well, we got it.
We got it.
Well, I got it.
Ack. I'm gonna drink my caffeine.
Chocolate,
You know what?
chocolate.
30 Rock. 30 Rock line just came out of my mouth as I was parking at Fresco's.
I did a weird one too. Okay, what was yours?
Mine was, damn it, Johnny, you know I love my big beef and cheddar.
I love that one. Mine, I did it like 2 weeks ago, and Max was like, "What?" And I was just like, "Secret plan, revenge on my mind."
I don't remember that one.
Jenna just sings it to herself in a moment of like psychosis.
I love
God, that show is good.
So good.
All right. Should we do what we came?
Should we come?
Should we come? Quick.
1, 2, 3.
Should we do what we came here for?
Should
Talk about blackout poems. I came to talk about blackout poems.
It's poetry
and
that you
chew
write
gum.
when you get
I'm
blackout.
all out of chewing gum.
What?
You didn't even write it. I said I came to read I came to read blackout poems and chew gum, and I'm all out of chewing gum.
So today's activity is blackout poetry.
Woo!
All right.
So in the last episode, the activity that we like assigned for y'all to do between then and now is blackout poetry, which is where you pick any piece of paper, or we're thinking it can be done digitally too, using like markup or something on your phone. We're trying to figure that out. You choose something with words on it, and you go through and black out the words you don't like, keep the words you do like, to essentially make a poem. Right?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Cool.
So we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And you guys did that. Some of you did it over in between.
Yeah.
After
We're
last episode.
blessed to receive many wonderful blackout poems.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
From our friends and listeners. We talked about like a few different ways you could approach it, like using something that has a particular energy and trying to like transform that into a different energy throughout your poem making, or you could just kind of choose like a paper that's interesting to you and see what happens.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All the things you said. That song is so stuck in my head because of Heated Rivalry.
Do we need to talk about Heated Rivalry?
No, I don't have anything to say about it because you guys haven't even watched it yet.
I watched 2 episodes.
It's whatever. We don't need to talk about it. Everybody's talking about it.
It's sweeping the nation.
It's sweeping the nation. It's the only show, one of the only scripted shows I can watch because there's no conflict in it.
I'm excited to give it a try.
It's awesome. Okay.
So
we're
now,
gonna do it.
yeah, now we're gonna take a break to do that, and see what we come up with, and then we'll come back and we'll share our poems.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we want to agree on a time limit for this one.
Yeah,
10 minutes?
10 minutes, I think
it's
is
gonna
good.
Take us a sec to just like select our source
Yeah.
material, and then we'll take just 10 minutes to
Yeah.
to write it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Cool.
good. We'll be right back.
Bye. Love you.
We're back.
We're back.
We did our activity.
Are you proud of us?
Now, Olivia's going to share first.
Okay. We decided we would read the poem first before
Discussing the source material.
discussing the source material.
Yeah,
Now,
we'll
if I knew where
reveal.
the poem was on my phone, I would sure share it with you. Okay. Poem. Sorry, I don't have a title for it. Okay, I'm getting back. I have friends. I'll be able. I'm feeling. I'm free. I'm a little confused. I'll be free.
Beautiful.
I
love
love it.
Give me a little bit of chills. At
Thank
the
you.
end.
Oh, fabulous. It felt a little. Okay, so it was from this, like, text I had written out in my notes app to send to this guy when I was like, before he had lost interest in me, and we were like setting up a FaceTime or something, and I was like, it was just like so many like logistical things, and like I had written out this, and I was like, was obsessing, and I'm like, oh, I feel like he's not interested in me. Ultimately I was right, but at the moment I think he had not lost interest, but I'd like written out this text twice to be like, I was trying to say to him, like, I don't know what your vibe is, but if I'm back on this time and like we can like see each other after or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like wrote it out twice in 2 different languages, and then I sent it to my friend, and she was like,
The other language was French.
no, not 2 different languages. 2 different versions.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 different, yeah.
The French
Right.
version and the English version.
Just
translated
to see.
it back.
I don't know if he's French Canadian or what. And then I sent it to Kaylee, and she was like, what if you just like didn't send this because you don't know any information yet? Because it was like so intense. I was like, I don't know what your vibe is, but
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And then I felt like kind of corny writing it a little bit because it was like, it was just a little bit corny of like, or it was just a little bit, not corny. I have a deep love and appreciation for corniness, but like, it just felt a little on the nose maybe to be like, I'm turning this thing from this like kind of painful thing that just happened to me into like this poem about my self-assertion. But whatever. Get off my jock. Like,
But it feels so poignant
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of that, I think.
and it's like what like the original language of the note was so like you like, I don't know what you're feeling. Like it was like
please tell me what's going on in your head
Yeah,
without me trying to sound pushy. But ultimately, this is coming from like a place of addiction.
Totally. It's like, I need to be sure. I need to be sure. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know.
But I don't want you to think I'm crazy.
Yeah. You need to affirm me. Make me feel safe. Make me feel safe. And so then it was like fun to do a poem that was like, I am this and this and this. And I'll be free and whatever.
To recenter yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think at one point too, you asked it as a question.
I was gonna ask
And
about that.
I was going to ask if that was like, actually, there was a question mark there.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
It was
that
like,
was my favorite part.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I can just text you when I'm free or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Shoot me in the fucking
No.
head.
Dude, we all do it. We all
That
send those
part
messages.
was like so beautiful, and, like poignant.
Yay.
Well, and I think it is connected to some stuff that we might talk about later when we talk about other people's pieces, is like the jargon of the work world and how we try to like edge creativity through that jargon. There's also a jargon for interpersonal relationships, especially romantic ones, where it's like, text me back if you can, if you have time, like totally cool. If not, when we never say like how we actually feel about things.
Totally. And it was like so funny because like when he like ended things, I was thinking about like how formal the language gets. Like it's like, he's like, it's like all these periods, and he was like, it was like just, it became so formal, and I was like, I'm disappointed, but I understand. Like
I'm disappointed, like, period. I understand, period.
I did end that shit with a period. You better believe it. I ended that shit with a period.
Bye! Exclamation point.
Love you. I'm also like addicted to writing "love you" at the end of like serious messages to a person I don't love. But I didn't do that in this instance. In terms of the process of it, like I've done this before, and I feel like I was almost a little frustrated with myself for the like planning I was doing. Like I was kind of like came into it kind of with an idea, and then I was like kind of figuring out how I could carry out the idea, which is not always what I like to do when I'm like writing or making something. Like I kind of like to sometimes ideally work backwards, like just work from like bottom up, like what's in front of me, and then I see what the idea is after. Like I really love doing poetry comics because it's like you draw a picture of something and then you like write a poem based off of that picture.
Cool.
And I always find it to be very like revelatory of like what is going on in my brain. And so I was like, this, I feel like I have kind of a goal. I want to like alchemize this thing because I want to alchemize this thing that feels painful to me because I feel like that would be good. Yeah. Like a good
practice.
Good practice. Well, I'm like, I feel like that would be a cool thing to do artistically.
Yeah.
And I also like want to feel that way. I want to feel good. I want to feel good right now.
Right.
And so it's like, that didn't all the way feel, I like what I wrote, but I don't know if it all the way felt like emotionally honest. I don't know if it felt all the way emotionally honest because I could erase, because I was doing it on my phone. Like when I did blackout poetry before, it was like Sharpie on paper.
Once
and it's
gone, it's gone.
Once it's gone, it's gone. And I did erase, and I was like, I don't like that I'm doing this, but I want this product. And ultimately I'm happy with the product, and it's not totally emotionally dishonest, but it's like, it's just an interesting way of like, I love editing. Like I think writing is in editing, but I also like the like all id way of existing and create and
Stream
like
of
self-expression.
consciousness, guts,
Feelings.
Yeah.
I want to know though, like what feels emotionally dishonest about what you
Well, I'm just like,
wrote?
Good question. Well, I think what felt emotionally dishonest was just like almost the erasing of it. Like, I don't know.
Is there sorry go ahead. Is there a sentiment in there that like you can point to that feels particularly like contrived, or I don't know what you're feeling about it?
Or I was gonna ask, like related to that, is it kind of like a fake it till you make it type of thing, where it's like, this is how I want to feel, and I'm not quite there yet, but I'm kind of like manifesting it or willing it or something? Or?
You know what? Almost it is I'm fatigued a little by the process that I go through in dating, which is like the pain and the comeback.
Absolutely.
Like I've done the comeback so many times now where I'm like,
I can do anything.
this is not, this is like,
You're like, I don't want to.
I'm just like, this is what I'm asking for my higher power and everything. It's like, let me learn something new now. Like I'm desperate. I don't even know how much I want to be in a relationship. I want to relate to romance differently. And I want to learn something new now. Like, and I want to come back in a new way or have a new relationship with myself. Like, I feel so, you know what feels emotionally dishonest? The degree of like unsureness that I kind of feel like exists in the poem. Like the I'm free. I know I'm free. Like I feel sure of myself. And the poem feels like a little bit of a like younger me.
Yeah.
Or like not even that, like me from 3 months ago where it's like I was less sure of my like ability, but I'm like, I think like I'm so grateful for my like support system and everything that I do get to feel so sure of myself. But like it feels like mock humility, but then I think about it and then I'm also like, I'm not sure of like an element of that bounce back is like my higher power, and that does not feel sure for me. So maybe it's like that's what that is.
Well, yeah, I wonder, like, as you're saying this, I wonder if you feel like there's similarities here, because it makes me think about like my own experiences with this and with feeling like I'm repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. And I still feel like what I thought I was supposed to learn is like, I've learned it. So like, why can't we move on? Is like with my family and like feeling like I'm doing so much work to be able to go into that space and not be obliterated. But at the same time, like that's maybe shouldn't be the goal of the work. Like maybe the goal of the work should be to like change the way that you are strong. You are strong and you can bounce back from that situation over and over and over again. You've proved that to yourself. That's already been proven. But maybe it's like, why are you doing that to yourself?
Yeah. I mean, it's this very complex, it's this thing I feel conflicted about, because it's like, I don't, why I'm struggling with the higher power thing is I'm like, this is the work that I need to do. My biggest fear is, it's not my biggest fear, but like the thing I struggle with the most is like relational intimacy. Like I have so much trauma around relationships and like sex, and like, it's like, I think I have this real fear around intimacy. And so like, I'm like, I want to do this work. Like I want to figure it out. And like, I also, part of me is like, maybe this is happening because like, I think I've done all this work, but I'm still being attracted to the same kind of person.
Yeah, I think that could be a big part of it.
But then I'm like, well, man, what the hell else can I be doing? I'm like on the railroad of my own brain all the livelong day. I don't like that I said that. But we'll just move on. But it's like, that's like the thing where it's like, then you just got to keep trucking, and I got to give it up to my higher power, because I don't know what else I can do other than try my best in good faith.
Yeah.
And that is like maybe the coming back journey.
Yeah.
That also just like makes me think of the I'm free, because you just said like the railroad of your own brain. Like you're on these tracks, and it's like, can I change them? Have I changed them? How do I change them? Do I need to change them?
And it's actually like, I'm not so free. And so just in that moment before, when I was saying like, I'm so sure of myself, I was like, I'm not being humble. And like, I'm not so sure that I'm free all the time. Like I feel strong within myself, but it's like, I also have so many of these anxieties around it where it's like, maybe I'm perhaps not as free as I thought I was or whatever. So ultimately, revelatory,
Well, and I think too, like with those thought patterns and with those like, oh my God, what am I trying to say? Those neural pathways, right? That feel so fucking dug out. Like it feels really hard to rewire them. I think that in and of itself doesn't feel free. Like when you're stuck in, it can be in your own brain, the prison. And for me, it often is. But I think like too, one of the reasons why I asked you why that felt disingenuous to you, or like why, you know, you felt like maybe there was some kind of performance in what you wrote, is that like, I think it's actually really hard. And I think it probably is for most people. I think it's really hard to say nice things about ourselves. Like, I think it's really hard to like sit and write about ourselves in a way that doesn't like focus on the critical. And I think that when we just try to shower ourselves with love, sometimes it feels really unnatural. And I don't know if that's what like you were feeling when you were writing that, but I just remember like, you know, I've always struggled with that kind of stuff. And I remember in various different therapy sessions, therapists trying to get me to like say nice things about myself, or to like hug myself, or to like show myself some kind of physical intimacy. And I'm always just like, I have to pretend it's somebody else. Sometimes when I try to talk to myself like that, I'm just like, everything that I'm saying sounds fake, because I don't think I actually love myself. But it's the type of thing where it's like the fake it till you make it thing, where like in order to rewire those neural pathways, you have to do repetitious rewiring actions every single day.
And it's gonna feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable.
And exhausting. It's gonna feel exhausting.
And inauthentic.
Well, it's funny because it's like, this is maybe not relatable. I do love myself.
I know you do. I know you do.
I when I first started this process of sober dating, I was so scared because I was like, I built myself up. I built this home. For me. And I love what I've done. And it like, what is painful is like, the thing that triggers you, like the thing that I least want to happen happens over and over and over again. And I guess part of it too is like, you think you love yourself? Well, then what if you get rejected 40 times in the way you're most afraid of, in the thing? And it's like, can you still love yourself after that? And it's like, yeah, I can. And that is like the miracle. That is the miracle.
Just made me think of this thing that I just read on the internet that I'd read before, and I'm gonna have to look up the term, but might be corny, but there's this thing that like if trees are grown inside or like in a vacuum or something with no wind, they actually become really weak and fall over because they're never stressed and they don't become stronger. And so I was just thinking like trees need wind and things to like stress them so that they become more resilient and strong, which is when you were talking about like, can I love myself even if I get rejected over and over and over again?
And this is the piece that I am talking about that I've been wrestling with a lot, is like, is putting yourself through that ringer over and over and over again to the point of self-harm, is that another form of addiction?
Yeah. Or is it repetition compulsion?
Exactly.
You know,
I think it's a fine effing line. And I think really what it is, we're almost out of time on this recording, is you build self-esteem through esteemable acts. So it's not the putting yourself in those bad situations.
Yeah.
It is the way you respond to it.
Completely.
That builds your self-esteem.
And your sense of self.
Because
it's like
the train tracks.
If this would have happened 3 years ago, no joke, legit, I would have sent him probably 15 naked pictures of myself to be like, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. I would have like driven to where I knew he would be. Like I was crazy.com.
Look how much you've changed.
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's like so, and it's like you, this esteemable act is like being like, okay, I'm disappointed, but I understand.
Acceptance.
Totally.
Hit the brakes.
Okay, I wanted to ask if you could read the poem one more time now that we've talked about it.
Good idea. Okay, I'm getting back. I have friends. I'll be able. I'm feeling. I'm free. I'm a little confused. I'll be free.
I love it.
I love it.
I
Especially
really do.
the very specific phrasing in the last line of I'll be free, not I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something there.
So that's me.
It's beautiful. I love it.
You know, what else I was thinking is that, like, you're saying, like, intimacy is the hardest thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you're, like, the best at that in friendship. And even in, like, this context, you're willing to be so vulnerable. So, like, I have a really hard time in this kind of context being vulnerable like you are very brave to do.
Thank you. Well, I think to a degree also there's a degree of vulnerability that can block intimacy. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily feel like I'm doing this here, but it's like you can tell someone everything about yourself, and it's like,
and you still don't trust them.
and you don't, and it can be a way of actually avoiding intimacy because you can be like, this is all the stuff that happened to me, and you don't actually have to engage with your feelings about it. That's not what I feel like I'm doing here, but it's what I feel like I've done.
I have for sure.
That's so interesting.
I have for sure done that a lot.
But I find great deal of salvation in my platonic intimate relationships. Although it has taken me a long time to learn how to be actually intimate in those relationships.
Still learning.
I'm learning.
Who is it? It's fun to learn and hard.
Do you want to go next,
Do you want
Jack?
to go, Jacqueline?
Sure. Okay. You might expect her to be bitter, her house set on fire. Don't go shedding tears, singing sad songs. Pick up the pieces, keep on going. Is her life really all that tragic? Walking down the beach returned the glow to her cheeks. Beautiful young mother. Red cotton slacks and t-shirt. Relaxed and carefree.
Whoa.
I love
that.
Thanks. Okay, so I used this old vintage 1978 country song roundup magazine with Tammy Wynette as the cover girl, and those were actually the first few paragraphs of the article about Tammy Wynette. So I went through and I blacked out anything I didn't like, which left a bunch of stuff. No, actually, sorry. First, I went through with highlighter and highlighted my favorite phrases. Then I went through and blacked out everything else. And then I like honed it from there and blacked out more. And I was like, I feel like this is almost cheating because there's like really kind of beautiful, colorful writing here. And I feel like I'm just like distilling that down into like my favorite images and phrases. Mm-hmm. So I was like, am I doing this right? Or like, does this count? And so I was getting in my head about that. And then I was also like, I don't know if this connects to me. Does it need to? Is that okay? Can it just be like a distillation of this thing? But yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like the imagery. I don't know if it relates to me, but I find often like things like this, even when you think they don't, they often do, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like what I was talking about. It's like you have the words, you have the art of it, and then it's like, oh, why did that hit me? Like, why did I make that? Like, what am I relating to in this? Or what is this expressing?
Why did I like those parts? Yeah.
I mean, I think for me at least, like the first words of just like, you might think that she'd be bitter or whatever, her house burned down. Like those first two lines like really speak, I think, to a lot of what we've been talking about today of just like that getting up, even though you feel like your house is getting burnt down continuously. There's fires in the house and you got to put them out.
Yeah.
And it's about like letting that turn you into something that is ultimately like more you and more forgiving and more accepting rather than someone who's more closed off.
Yeah.
What do you feel like it's speaking anything to you?
Well, I mean, it's also interesting because 2 days ago was the anniversary of the LA fires.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that has been on my mind a bit, and I do have like a really close friend whose house burnt down, who has been struggling with that since then, and I think still is, who I like love very much and worry about sometimes. And so I don't know, that kind of made me think of like, there's this concept in child therapy, like play therapy, where if a kid has gone through like a horrible situation or something like that, they will often create a solution in play, like an imaginary solution, and like just doing that can feel like it like solves something or heals something internally, even though like it doesn't actually change the situation that happened.
Right. But it at least helps them like practice responding in a way that feels better and like more prepared.
And it's like a survival tactic.
Yeah. There was some like study or something where there was a bunch of like kids doing play therapy or art therapy after 9/11, like who were connected to it in some way, or who just were like aware of it and trying to process it. And the kids just were coming up with all of these like really cute solutions after the fact of like, you know, people come in with hot air balloons and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
That's like the saddest thing ever.
Sorry. But that concept has always stuck with me of like, why not just imagine a solution, even though it's not something that can ever actually be fixed necessarily?
I mean, that is actually also like one of the main concepts in EMDR therapy, which I've also done, which is like go back into the traumatic event and do it differently.
Yeah.
Respond in the way that you would have wanted to respond.
Yeah.
And I also think like on a macro level, like, I don't know, we're not authorities on anything, but like there's so much, we're at a time of so much pain, and like my dad always says like it's so easy to feel so hopeless, because it's like truly we've never been closer to fascism as a country, IMO, and like ICE is going to start going door to door.
I know.
But my dad is like, he is like, you have a moral obligation towards hope.
Yeah.
And like, I really feel that way, like
Me too.
interpersonally and publicly. And it's like, what hope also looks like is like, Ursula K. Le Guin was like, you know, the end of capitalism seems, was that Ursula K. Le Guin? Or was that someone else? Anyway, whatever. The end of capitalism seems unimaginable, but so did the end of the divine right of kings.
Right.
Like, it's like, what must happen to a degree is like, what if, to imagine a radically different world.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that your mind just went there, because my mind at the same time went to Renee Good and like that shooting this week, which I like really have been like glued to, because there's that line, beautiful young mother, relaxed and carefree, walking down the beach. So I don't know, maybe just like, yeah, it's been a really heavy week thinking about this country, and maybe there was just like some subconscious impulse to like give something a little happy ending, and like you know, capture a little bit of like a healing feeling in imagery.
I mean, I like tell my students all the time that ultimately like feeling hopeless and feeling overwhelmed and feeling inundated by fear is what they want, and a commitment to going out into the world and connecting with people and experiencing anger and experiencing joy and envisioning a different world, like you were saying, Olivia, is like the only way that we're going to attain it. If you like are completely paralyzed into inaction, nothing is ever going to change.
Yeah. And artistically, Toni Morrison is, sorry, I'm obsessed with quoting people today, but I've been looking at Instagram where they have a bunch of quotes. Toni Morrison is like, this is the time where artists get to work, which is like, obviously I'm not to say anything that I've ever done or will ever do is anything close to Toni Morrison, but it's like, I mean, it's just like in general, like you must imagine a different world.
Yeah.
You must imagine a different
Right.
world.
It's the only way that we can actually attain it.
And that is like what one of the things about artistry is like how to imagine a different world and be in the world in a different way.
Yeah. And then just to bring it full circle, like, I don't know a lot about Tammy Wynette actually, but I have loved some of her songs since I was a kid. And according to this article, her house was deliberately set on fire. And she's constantly harangued by the press. And she has this apparently really resilient attitude of like, you know, don't sing sad songs for me. And
Is she the coal miner's daughter? Is that a different
that's
person?
Bobby Gentry.
It's a song, right?
Well, yeah, maybe it's
she was
just done
born
by
a
a lot
coal
of
miner's
people.
daughter.
I thought you were just like, is she the coal miner's daughter?
No, it's
like,
my song because the lady was a
Which
coal miner's
one?
daughter. I was born a coal miner's daughter.
She
Anyway,
probably did do that song. I just know the Bobby Gentry version.
well, I might have gone to her house once
Like,
on a road trip
socially,
with my
or-
boyfriend. Yeah, well, we might have hung out. I hung out with all coal miner's daughter, and it might have been her.
No way to know.
No way to know.
anyway.
I love that poem, Jack. Can you
Yeah,
read it
me
again?
too.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. You might expect her to be bitter, her house set on fire. Don't go shedding tears, singing sad songs. Pick up the pieces, keep on going. Is her life really all that tragic? Walking down the beach, returned the glow to her cheeks. Beautiful young mother, red cotton slacks and t-shirt, relaxed and carefree.
Yeah, I think another thing that I really love about that, and after hearing it the second time, is like the first half of it feels like someone stuck in their head asking themselves questions about themselves and, you know, telling themselves what's going on. And the second one feels totally externalized.
Yeah.
Like I'm out in the world. I am connecting with nature. I'm getting some sanity back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Volta. Classic
Yeah.
poetic shift in the last part of the
Yeah.
great writing teacher. A Volta is actually when you switch rhyme schemes, but I also think it can be thematic.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I think it's fabo.com.
Thank you.
I love.
I love.
This is so interesting because, like,
This is fun.
it's so interesting, like, talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it and I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys ready for my poem?
I don't
know if you're ready either. It's really scary. It's really scary.
You ready for this? Do you like that?
Reminds me of sports.
Ew.
I love sports now
You do?
because of heated rivalry.
So you did rivalry.
Gotta watch this
There's
show.
no hockey in it.
Well, I love that about it.
I do, yeah.
I might
couldn't
make us
care
watch
less
the
about
first
hi-
episode.
I was gonna say I couldn't care less
Why
about
not?
Heike.
After this, let's put those things in the oven or cook the microwave
Yes.
and then watch Heated Rivalry.
I'm
Yeah.
so down.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all ready for this?
Poetry time.
It's Kaylin time.
I would really like for that to be my alarm clock in the morning.
Okay.
It's Kaylin time.
It's Kaylin time.
It's Kayla Dad. I feel like I would wake up with a pep in my step every day.
I'll record it.
I would love that. Okay. You want to listen to my poem?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Also an untitled poem. High achievers didn't want to disappoint. A number of things. Catholic boys, justice, religion, junkies. Too much suspicion of teaching. No aptitude for science. No interest in anatomy. Miserable. It clicked. Thought he would be like puzzles in personality. You could hurt someone if you do it wrong.
Mysterious.
That last line got me.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like puzzles.
Yeah. I had to do kind of like a fair amount of like, I don't know. I think there was a word in here that was just like, I can't remember what the word was, like intuitive or something. And I needed like a preposition because these were just like notes. These were notes. So I just like blacked out everything except for in.
It's called artistic license.
Yeah.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but these, the source material for this was a bunch of notes that I took while interviewing my dad for a paper that I wrote in my freshman year of college.
Oh, this is so interesting.
And so I was interviewing my dad just kind of about his life, and in the paper was like about the anthropology of gift giving and how gift giving is represented differently in different cultures, and how, you know, it's endemic to tradition, but also there's transaction and all kinds of stuff. So my paper I was going to originally write on organ donation because my dad is a transplant surgeon, and that really interested me. But then the more I interviewed him, the more I realized that it should be about the sacrifice that the physician makes to be like, to have that profession, and by extension the sacrifice that the family makes, the family of the physician. But yeah, this was just like a bunch of notes that I took on my dad, and like what growing up for him was like, and like what his interests were. And yeah, most of them were just kind of like standalone words, or like maybe just at maximum 3 words together. So it felt a little disjointed, I thought, or at least that's how it came off to me in the process. I mean, I did the same thing where I kind of just like scanned through and found things that I liked, but then I don't know, as I was doing it, I kind of felt like I was turning notes about him into that were from his mouth into my interpretation of him.
That's cool. That's so interesting. Cool. Interesting alert.
Interesting alert.
How did that feel to do?
I think I've always kind of had like a hesitancy to include my family or our history or our trauma in my art. I've always, like, it's driven every single artistic impulse I've ever had, and yet I feel like I need to be so careful and represent everyone in a way that feels really fair, including myself and all of my flaws. It feels really hard for me to just like go in and have my emotions be raw and unfiltered, because I don't want to hurt anybody. And I think my raw, unfiltered emotions would be hurtful. And so this kind of felt like an exercise in trying to like slough some of that off and shed some of that. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like Junkie, for example, it was just like, he told me, he was like, I've always been a politics junkie, and I wrote politics junkie down and I deleted politics. Yeah. And then also, I think like this last part, it clicked, thought he would be like puzzles and personality. You could hurt someone if you do it wrong. That part, I feel like I manipulated the text the most, because to me, it felt like there was something really true about my dad in there, which is just like, he is a very complex person. And I think that he actually like takes pride in how complex he is. Like, he's a very intellectual, intelligent, very deep individual, and I think that like that is a beautiful thing, but that also can like create a person who closes off and shuts people out and hurts people and feels misunderstood a lot. Like, the more complicated you are, and the less willing that you are to like to let people know you, I think the more other people get hurt. And I personally feel that that's very true, at least in our relationship.
Also, people can get enamored by their own complicatedness.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, and as a way of self-protection, there's like this thing in 12-step people talk about, like terminal uniqueness, where you have to be like the most different, special person in the room, because it's like you don't feel secure in who you are, so you create this identity out of being different from everybody else or being misunderstood because you feel so misunderstood. So then that's the thing that you cling to, and then it like is this self-perpetuating cycle because it's like, well, now I'm isolating myself more because like I don't want to engage and I need to be so interesting and like it is this, yeah, it can
and
be
no
this,
one can understand me.
and no one can understand me,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be understood, and like, and then you're like, I'm missing out on intimacy with my daughter, like with my family, with like the people who love me, because I'm so, I have this need to individuate myself or like be more complicated or whatever, you know what I mean?
Or I don't even know, you know, like I think there's a lot of that going on, and then I think there's also just like a cognitive dissonance of like I feel so high performing in so many areas of my life that I cannot understand why that doesn't extend to emotions and interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
I do not have the tools. There's literally just a gap in knowledge there and in like preparedness, equipment. Like I think there's just a lot of people that can't do that. Even though they want to, they can't do that. And so they tell themselves that like the complexities of the other parts of their personalities are enough and they don't need the emotional intimacy. And I think all of that was kind of going through my head when I was trying to concoct that last piece.
Yeah. Or they devalue it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, like, I don't know, whatever the plight of men is like, they're not allowed to learn how to have their emotions, so then they devalue their emotions, and then they can't have intimacy with others, and then they like do abuse or whatever they're up to. Whatever those fellas are up to. And it's like, I don't know, whatever. I wouldn't wish being a man on my worst enemy.
I know.
No matter how bad it is to be a woman.
I know. I feel similarly.
So because when we were prepping for this episode, we were each kind of talking about like some options we were considering for things we might use for the source. And you did talk about this interview with your dad, but somehow I forgot. Olivia, did you have awareness that it might be from that when she started reading it?
Yeah.
I didn't. For some reason, I didn't like put that together. I just thought maybe it was some note from in your phone. And so I was like Catholic schoolboys and like pressure to perform, like what could this have to do with like the context of Kaylin, which now is like so interesting to think about because like in a way it doesn't and in a way it completely does because he's your dad and like we're each, if you have a dad in your life, you're given this dad who is this puzzle that you do try to figure out for your childhood.
Yeah.
Dad is a puzzle.
Dads are puzzles who can be like really inscrutable and I think like, up to a certain point usually in your childhood, you are like, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah. Well, and I think actually that this interview for me was like a way to try to like get some of those pieces
That's what
in
I was
order.
thinking.
Because I was like, very rarely have I ever just sat the guy down and been like, tell me what's going on in your brain.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you tick, guy? And I got the opportunity to do that under the guise of like an academic pursuit, which I feel like was the only way that we were going to be able to do that. And it was really insightful for me. But also ultimately, I don't know if it really helped, I don't know if it really helped me understand a whole lot.
But at the same time, like, it sounds like the beginning of the poem, there were like some of the kind of like pieces of the puzzle of him and like, I don't know if I'm interpreting that correctly, but like that there's some context as to maybe how he became who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Pressure to perform or whatever.
Well, it's also funny because it's like those first two lines, I'm like, that's also you.
Yes. High
Like-
achievers didn't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes like can like is a thing that is hard for you, is this expectation you have of yourself that is like comes from the expectations from your family and like the way that your dad is and what your dad takes pride in and like
Oh
et
yeah.
cetera.
I mean, like if I'm not my father's daughter, like in that way alone, actually I think in a lot of ways, like I think I really do relate to feeling like you have to be all things.
Yeah.
But I've always felt burdened by that, where I feel like my dad maybe felt empowered
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
I also want to hear Kaylin's poem again,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yes. Okay. High achievers didn't want to disappoint a number of things. Catholic boys, justice, religion, junkies, too much suspicion of teaching. No aptitude for science, no interest in anatomy, miserable. It clicked. Thought he would be like puzzles in personality. You could hurt someone if you do it wrong.
The it clicked part
Yeah.
is like such
Well,
a moment.
and that actually is like, it's very much, I didn't delete a whole lot of that. Like he's, in this note, he's describing to me how he was like trying to figure out who he was, what he wanted to do, and what his place in the world was based off of his interests and his upbringing and his morals and whatever. And so it did, like, he's considering all these things. He's considering like going into the priesthood. He's considering like a career in philosophy. He's considering, he's like really into politics. He's really into justice and religion. And then it clicked for him. He's saying like, I didn't, have an aptitude for science. I didn't have an interest in anatomy. Like I didn't know that being a doctor was good for me, but then I found transplant surgery.
I was also going to say, if a dad is a puzzle, a mom is like an encrypted like lockbox.
No, like
with
one of
like,
those
like
fucking
a code.
What
like,
are those, what is that?
like a
What I'm
Yeah, I know what
talking
you're talking about. Like a puzzle
What is
box
that
that you have to do.
called?
like
I don't remember.
angels and demons.
Yeah.
Dan
Or it's
Brown
like,
thing.
No, for
it's like
real.
a computer code that you're
Cryptogram
like.
or-
Yeah, cryptogram or whatever the fuck that is. I completely agree. And I'm going to chalk that up to the fact that I do actually think, hands down, any of the day of the week, women are more complex than men.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I have an ongoing theory that I went through a phase this summer, like where I kept asking people about this at bars, like guys, which is like, which we don't have time to talk about, but is being a mother a fundamentally lonely task?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it totally depends on your partner.
Yeah, but I think it
But-
also is like, I don't know, I have many, many, many thoughts about this, but it's
I
like,
think being a woman is a lonely thing. At least in this
to me,
At least in this day
Not to
and
me.
age. Is that what you said?
I think being a mother is to, I think to, because I'm watching it now with my sister-in-law, but like this creature needs you and loves you and like you are the whole world, and then that goes away. Mm-hmm. And the thing that loves you the most doesn't really understand you, and for much of their life doesn't really have interest in understanding you. And you love this thing that like, it's so hard to see one's parent as like a full person all the time, because you're like you're my mom, and it's like, but also I'm like a whole complex woman, and it can take our whole lives to figure that out, or we're forced to like, it's like I just think it's this like, it's really interesting, like kind of tragic thing, because it's like you have this amazingly meaningful connection, and it can be so like, you cannot understand your child at all, and your child cannot understand you at all, and you can love them so much and like not connect to them. It's like, it's so, I think it's just so, it's like that, the Lord song, like about her mom, for like, for every door you open, there's another one I can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah.
I want to know you. I want to know her. Like, I want to know my mom, all of my mom, but do I, and can I ever? And like, can she ever share that? Like,
And should you even?
and
like,
should I?
fully? Yeah.
But I think that
I've
there's
been thinking about.
like a lot of that in being like a woman in general, of just like the patriarchy literally training us to not know what we know. I think that even like in the experience of I am a being that can be ripped open and have something taken out of me, and it's a new life, and then I can be sewn back up and I can keep going, right? And like that, knowing that that's what you are, and living in a world that limits you in the way that it limits you is incredibly lonely.
Yeah. I think this actually ties really well to one of our blackout poems submitted from our audience.
I agree. Tammy's.
Whoa. Okay, the image is a little bit grainy, so hopefully we got it. Okay. So you've got a secret, said Dorothy at long last. Wasn't a real question. Her silence. There was a time, flighty conversations about nothing in particular, could continue my secret pursuit in peace. It is only polite to reply. They told you I have secrets. Most authority, but everything had changed.
Okay, I really like that one.
Me too.
Should I read what she wrote?
Ja.
Okay, she said, hello, Tammy here. For my blackout poem, I selected a page from Jacqueline Harpman's I Who Have Never Known Men. This scene centers on a tense interrogation about secrets. I was drawn to the charged atmosphere Harpman creates around secrecy and concealment. My poem focuses on the connection between secrecy and feminine mystique, the power of what remains unspoken and withheld.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what we were saying. Like, it's this idea, well, like, we were saying, like, the loneliness of never being able to share yourself or what you know, but it's also, like, the need to self-protect by doing that.
When I also just love the idea of, like, our inner worlds that are so pre-verbal that they are like in almost impossible to show other people or to express to other people.
Yeah. Which is like the purpose of art. No offense.
Yeah. And there was what was that film that came out a couple years ago with Greta Lee?
Past Lives?
Yeah.
I just watched it.
Did you?
This week.
Well, I think one of the most beautiful things about that film to me is that, like, there are parts of us that the people we love most in the world will never know. Mm-hmm. They weren't.
That's such a good takeaway from
there. That. We experienced them in some kind of like vacuum, and we can't let anybody else into that vacuum. And we can tell them about it, but even that, it's like words kind of fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's like this profound dichotomy of life, which is that connections can exist that words can't express, and also you can't always express in words like a thing that could connect you the most to someone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's why I feel so strongly about like my intuitions about people. Like I've said my whole life, there are some people that I meet where I just am like, there's some part of my soul that knows your soul. And I don't even know what part of my soul it is. And I don't know what part of your soul it is. I just know that there's something about us. We don't even have to say it. Where like, we really know each other.
Yeah.
Or at least we have the capability to really know each other.
Yeah. One of the most spiritual experiences of my life was when I was in Malaysia, and like I was able to really connect with this class of like 14-year-olds, and truly 2 of them spoke any English. And it was like, and my friend had that too with one of her students in a different school. Like, it's actually something so true about the human experience where it's like, you don't always need language to connect at all. And like, you can connect with someone, you can actually really connect with someone with whom you do not share verbal language at all. Totally. Like those students, that class of students was so important to me. I loved them so much. And like, we weren't doing that much talking.
Yeah.
It's just so, it's so like interesting how that can happen. But then it's also this thing of like a woman where it's like these relationships, I don't know, by like what we're forced to do and what we're forced to hide, how much of that has to go away. And it's also like what, if we're talking about heterosexual, like romantic relationships, like what men are not allowed to experience, women are not allowed to share.
Yeah, it's so true.
So it's like, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum of what you were talking about with like connecting with people through unspoken stuff, just thinking about the topic of secrecy, something clicked for me that like I have a Scorpio moon, so I like secrecy, and I kind of like having this like secret inner self that no one can ever fully know, even though like sometimes that makes me sad that for it to feel unknown. There's some sort of like power or like good feeling of like, this is like only I get to go in this zone ever, you know? And there's like, it's like privacy, and I don't know, it feels good sometimes of like, you'll never understand that part.
Yeah, it can be really beautiful.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I when I first read the thing that Tammy submitted, it was like the secrecy of being a woman, and I'm just like, to me, I'm so, I have an interior world and I have a self, but it's like I have no relationship with secrecy, and sometimes I feel like I'm like, well, like I was such a liar in my childhood, like I had all the secrets as a kid, but I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm like this part of femininity I don't really experience. Like, I'm like like I just am like,
That's so interesting.
I like give, I can't be secret, I can't be mysterious at all. And like, yeah.
I actually remember us talking about this before one time, and me saying like, yeah, of course I have secrets. And you both were like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even, it's almost not even like, oh, I have this salacious secret, but it's like I have this like secret world and like secret emotions and feelings that like I keep hidden or like only reveal in certain situations. It's like that kind of secretiveness.
I don't know. I can kind of relate to like having the secret world, but I do feel like my secret world has been plagued by like an autoimmune disorder. Like my brain
There's termites
eats
in the
itself.
house.
Yeah, exactly. It auto cannibalizes. So it like the inner world to me has never felt like a safe place. It has felt like a place that I can't trust, which is why I think that like I am afraid of having secrets, is because I do not want anyone to feel that I have kept something from them unfairly or, I think I've been like, I've also, I think I lied about like pretty trivial stuff when I was a kid of like, did you bite her? No. But it's like, yes, you did. It's very clearly there are bite marks on that person's hand. Or like, did you take my dress? And I'd be like, no, I don't know where it is. So it's somewhere else. And then I'd like put it back in the closet. But like, yeah, I think that I have been like labeled a secret keeper and a liar so much to the point where I have like tried everything in my power to demonstrate the opposite.
Interesting. Did you guys watch that show Silicon Valley?
No.
It's like
I watched an ep.
It's a really like douche bro show that I really loved so much for some reason. But there's this really hilarious character played by Zach Woods, who's like,
I love Zach Woods. Love him.
And he's like,
I'd have intercourse with him.
Me too.
I probably would too.
I actually was just thinking about that. Because I listened to him on...
And that's what's happening in your inner world?
I love my inner world.
Does happen in my inner world. No, he was just on Comedy Bang Bang Best of. Anyway.
Oh, been listening.
Me too. His character is this kind of like pathetic, like Victorian child of a man in that show, and he's like living in the garage at one point or something, and it's just like this horrible situation, and he very pathetically says like, well, I just pretend that my brain is my room and I live inside a small room inside my brain and it's a nice room or something like that. And that's kind of what I mean about like secret inner world, where it's like, no matter what's going on, no matter what like situation I'm in, if it's like boring or horrible or whatever, I can always go into this like secret room in my brain.
Yeah. I think I used to feel like you, and now I feel like you. Like, I used to be like trapped by these constant obsessive thoughts. Like, I had no safety in my inner world. Or like, what I've been describing it as recently is like, when I get like that, I feel like there's a swarm of flies in between me and my world and my inner and myself and like what's going on. And like, I can't access it because the swarm of flies is so thick. But it was just like a constant swarm of flies like earlier in my life. Yeah.
Well, and just to clarify, like there's a lot of bad stuff in my mind too.
We know, honey.
Tons. But
there's something really wrong with you. We're calling the police.
We know you're insane.
But no, it's almost like I think of situations of like being stuck like in college in a class that you're incredibly bored, but you're like, guess what? I can write whatever I want on this piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna go somewhere in my brain that nobody knows about. And that's like the fun secrecy of like where it's like a power thing of like I can do whatever I want in my brain and you can't know.
Yeah.
I think I've just been disconnected from that for so long, because I think when you like I mean, I can remember doing that kind of stuff in high school and college, and then I think like you can get to a point in mental illness where like you need to disconnect entirely from that inner world, because that inner world is like really just perseverating on things.
Yes, you can get stuck there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I do that a lot.
Like I think that like is very much indicative of like how trauma affects art too. Is like if you can't connect with that inner world, then you can't. There's nothing. You sit down to make art and nothing comes out.
Totally. I really relate to that.
I mean, I've been in spots before where I've just been like, I do not have a creative instinct or bone in my body. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, one of my main, things that gets in the way of my art is just like, I am not going to step into my feelings for 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to listen to Comedy Bang Bang at all times. Distraction. Yeah. And sometimes you got to like have some quiet and some space in order to like make something.
Yeah, totally.
Uno más.
Uno más. Okay, this one is from Jackie's friend, Riley.
Wahoo.
And this is the poem. Eat Bill Gates and a large fries. It's billionaire goop, ready to drink. So the context for this, Riley said, "Hi, Secret Superstars. I'm Riley, a friend of Jackie's. Hi, Jackie. I'm so glad this podcast exists." Thanks, Riley. We're so glad you exist. It sparked a lot of reflection on my own creative journey, why I love and hate creativity, and what the heck the point of it all is. So thank you for doing this. Y'all are smarties. For some context, I worked at an ad agency that was owned by a gigantic marketing parent company. My coworkers and I loved to imagine that the CEO was reading every one of our stupid G-chats that we would send to each other. Anywho, when I quit that job, my friend gave me a parting gift in the form of Mark Penn's 2018 book, Microtrends Squared, which sounds like a terrible book that I would hate. We had a good laugh, and then I shelved the book until today, when I actually opened it for the first time and spent about 5 minutes crafting my pièce de résistance. Can someone say that?
Pièce de résistance.
Thank you. Can't do it. I call it Bill Goop, which I think is an incredible name.
We all loved this poem.
Yeah.
Well, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's
just
fun.
Good, clean American fun.
It's timely.
Goop.
We're talking about billionaires. We're talking about eating them.
Yeah.
We're talking about putting them with a side of fries, gooping them up into a ready-to-made drink.
I will say, even though I've read this poem several times, when you read it out loud, it did make me nauseous.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just visceral
reaction.
Goop, just human goop and fries.
Human goop and fries.
Billionaire goop.
I love billionaire goop.
And it's like Bill Gates is so
goopy.
But it's like
bleh.
We're all covered in billionaire goop.
We are all covered in billionaire
That
goop.
is our life
I don't
now
like this
in America.
conversation, but it's so
That's
visceral.
everything. Everything is
because
billionaire
it's true.
goop.
And it's also like a lot of the poems that we got were kind of like people transmorphing like stuff from work into their
Something
like poetry,
creative.
which was cool.
Really cool.
And very relevant, I think, for Riley, who worked in advertising for a long time, but is also like interested in writing and comedy and, you know, filmmaking. And so I think always has had like inner conflict around, you know, advertising versus art, basically.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's really interesting because like it is like, how do you work in a creative industry in a way that actually pursues art in late stage capitalism? Because I feel like that's a really hard thing to do. I don't personally feel like I've ever gotten to a place where it's been possible.
Yeah, it seems like nearly impossible
I think it may be impossible.
in this country.
Yeah. Well, because like pretty much, and this is like another thing that I tell my students all the time, which is that like any artist, even in true art, any artist is using tools at their disposal to manipulate your emotional response. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the artist will leave that up to interpretation. They'll bring you into an area and then they'll let you figure out which thing rings true the most for you. But more often than not, you are being manipulated to feel something. But like a lot of times for your benefit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So same thing, obviously, much more overt in advertising and capitalism. Mm-hmm. You are being manipulated to feel a certain type of way so that you will buy a thing that will supposedly fix or make something better or like transform or whatever you into this more ideal version of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like art is giving you a real human experience free of charge, except not really, because art obviously costs money, but art is meant to give you a human experience free of charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas advertising sells you an experience that doesn't exist.
And often makes your life worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's also funny. I'm thinking about what we tried to do with our set. And like, it's this split thing for me a little bit because I'm like, we were like, we have a specific vibe in mind and we want to conjure a specific feeling from childhood and whatever.
Yeah.
But then also when we were talking about it and doing it, I was like, but also it's like, cause I want people to listen.
Right.
And people like are like appealed by things that conjure these specific memories and feelings. And so we want this set to like do this because we want it's true to the podcast and we like the energy of it and we like the vibe of it. And we want people to listen. And it's like, is like this dual art marketing tool. And now most of it isn't in frame. So who gives a shit? But
We'll get there.
we're working on getting more cameras. But what the hell are you supposed to do? Because it's like also the snake eating its tail of like, it is this like manipulating people to get them to engage with what you're making. And you want them to do that on a pure level of like, feel this thing and experience this part of life with me and engage with this thing and feel it and like allow me to make it and support it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, what the hell can you do? Can't win for losing.
You really can't.
I like how short this poem is.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love the brevity of it.
So brief and like is so evocative.
Yeah.
Eat Bill Gates and a large fries. It's billionaire goop ready to drink. Like, I don't know. It makes me think of like Idiocracy. I keep thinking of the Idiocracy.
Yes. It's very, well, it's
Which
poignant
is
for right now.
Our world.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like an advertisement in itself, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat Billionaire.
yeah.
Eat Bill Gates and a large fries. It's billionaire goop ready to drink.
Yeah.
Completely.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It's Eat the Rich. I don't know.
It's meta Eat the Rich. It's so good. I love it.
I know. I really like it too.
I love everybody's poems at this
And it's
image.
very Riley in that it's like very silly and funny, which Riley is, and yet like totally brilliant too.
Brillo pads.
Totally bros.
It's brillopads.com.
Duckcorn.
Duckworm.
And also thank you to everyone else who submitted their poems.
Yes. Noah, my anonymous friend.
Tammy,
Tammy.
obviously.
Ava.
Ava. Ava's picture slayed the house.
Oh my
Sorry
God.
for
Yeah.
saying that.
I love
Slayed the
pictures
house
so
down.
Boots. Sorry for
much.
saying that.
Ate no crumbs, mama.
Yes. Again, sorry for saying this.
Ava did a really cool illustration with her
poem.
and maybe, hopefully, I don't know.
Maybe we can put it on her
share it?
Instagram. Yeah, our Instagram.
On her Instagram.
Well, actually,
log
big
into
shout
her
out to Ava
Instagram.
for following me on Instagram this week.
And then
I love you,
Sarah.
queen.
Sarah, my dear friend Sarah.
And
That was it. Okay, should we introduce the next activity?
Let's do it. It's a drawing activity. And it's basically choose 3 feelings that have been prevalent for you in your like recent life.
Yeah, recent weeks,
That
maybe.
day, that week, that moment.
And then gather a bunch of just like whatever materials, like kid-centric materials if you have them, crayons,
Markers, colored pencils, stickers,
paws.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you got.
Yeah.
and then take how much long? How
Like
long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes
Total.
collectively with your non-dominant hand and illustrate those feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your non-dominant hand, using a 5-minute timer, do 3 separate illustrations for each emotion.
Could all be on one page.
Or it could all be on
Whatever
one
the hell
page.
you want,
Leave
bro.
it up to y'all to interpret. And I mean, it could be as simple as like, oh, I'm feeling sad. It's a blue triangle,
Yeah.
like shapes and colors. Or you could go illustrative.
Do whatever you
or-
want. But you only have 5 minutes and you only have your non-dominant hand.
Yeah. So be resourceful.
And then how do we submit that, Jacqueline?
Yes. So we realized, thanks to Tammy, actually, that there's no way to share images in comments on Patreon, which we didn't know. So we're making a Google form for each post, and there will be a Google form button in each post where you can submit images, or you can email it to us at the email address in the how to participate post on the Patreon.
yeah.
That's pinned to the top.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, ladies, are we done?
Yeah. Sorry if this episode was sad at parts, but I'm actually not sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We gotta
sad
go.
world.
We got
We gotta
places to
go.
be.
We are in.
We gotta watch gay porn together.
Yes.
So
And we're in a very cold garage.
yeah.
All right. Kisses.
Any more context to that?
No.
Okay, cool.
Love
Deuces
you guys.
and smooches.
Love you.
Love ya.
Bye.
Superstar.
Love ya. Superstar.
Holy hell.
Follow Secret Superstar Society on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Join our free Patreon to participate and see full details on how to submit. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave a 5-star review. Secret Superstar Society was created, produced, edited, and everything else by Jackie, Kaylin, and Olivia. Love you. Shout out Lisa Barlow.